All right, this is Grayson with Garvin's Plumbing. We're at 3024 South Delaware. We're pushed outbound from the backyard outside access, 62 feet. We were running a bunch of water. We have stopped running water. It is still draining out a little bit. Line has a few issues. It's got some spot right at the end that's a little difficult to get over. We're pushing back forward again. So I think it's an outbound offset, because as I hop it, we've got total view, but it doesn't look like, it's hard to see because we can't see how much water is draining out. But as soon as I pull back, it falls. So that's a little offset that is going to impede flow. And with a little bit of belly. Not a super big belly. I think it's just above the camera head, but it's still covering the camera. If I were to pull back quickly, you might be able to see the water move a little bit. I'm pushing forward now since we can't really see anything. So this collects sediment and whatnot. Could be a little bit of roots there. There were some roots in the line. Line is a mixture of materials. We've got clay tile pipe, as well as possible concrete pipe, not sure. And then a small section of SDR. So we're pulled back to 50 feet, and we barely are starting to come out of the water. So that last 10 to however much feet, holding quite a bit. So there's a offset there that I have to push my camera over. I'm going forward again. And then right here at 52, I have trouble pushing past this spot. I'm not sure if that's root intrusion. There are a bunch of roots in the line. We have not cleaned the line. But we've got our belly all the way to the tap. Right there at around 64, 63. So 13-foot belly. Oh, you can see a little bit of the pipe there. So the tap itself looks like it's just knocked into the pipe. So that's why it was hard to push over. So rather than an offset, there basically is no tap. They just knocked a hole into it and have our pipe kind of shoved up on it. So, don't know if the pipe sank or what. We're back underwater, so we can't see anything. So I'm going to pull back. So this pipe here is either concrete or possibly Orangeburg. I'm not the best at identifying Orangeburg. But Orangeburg piping is the worst possible piping. So it leads me to believe it might be more likely to be concrete, because I feel like Orangeburg would have totally failed by now, but I have nothing to go off of for that. And then once again, if I try and push forward at 52, I stop right here. You can't see what it is that's stopping me. But some of this belly is probably created by the sediment that's in the line. The cleanout cap was busted on the top. So will definitely need to be cleaned in some fashion. The condition of the pipe after the cleaning is unknown. Got another more minor offset there, and it's more to the left of the pipe instead of on the bottom. This pipe now looks normal. That's how we want our sewers to look. We've got a little bit of root intrusion there, but not bad. There's also a grease interceptor that's still live. Looks like we got a crack on the right side of the pipe and the hub. Hubs are about 4 inches thick. So generally, if it's in the hub, it's not the end of the world. Trying to see off to the right there, it looks like the pipe is not fully circular, so I don't know if something's pressing that in or not. It's hard to tell. A little bit more root intrusion. Got a crack in the pipe there. A couple cracks. Going around to the top. Very minor offset on the bottom there. Going into a belly, starting around near 38. Small belly. Not covering the camera. Didn't last very long. And that's not too much of an issue. Got some rather large offset on the bottom there. That is going to make flow harder. A little more root intrusion, really not too terrible. There were a lot of roots inbound that we saw. So this area we got it crack curving around and then connecting to the edge of the pipe. So no missing pipes so far. A little bit more roots there. Can't see on the other side of them. An offset on the bottom. And so this section right here at 26 feet is where it looks like we transition again. I don't think this is concrete. I think it might still be clay. It just looks a little different. We got a crack there on the right going up, and looks like a chunk of the pipe's missing on the top right with root intrusion there. So definitely a replacement in the future, but I believe the home is going to be rebuilt, and so they're going to replace it then. So once again, here at 22 feet, it looks like we're transitioning. This is a section that I was unsure. Concrete's normally more gravelly, but this isn't the same color. Little crack. Some roots. This line has sat for multiple months, so a lot of the buildup is. Crack on the top. This section here is a major offset. It's on the left. The root intrusion there is causing this water to not drain very well, causing some buildup to collect. So, don't know if this is fully a belly or if it's just because of, well, it is a belly, but it's a combination roots, offset, and belly. So, and that was from 12 feet. Yeah, so from 12 feet. And then it's going to pose an issue trying to snake that. The blades are going to get caught on that offset on the left. And then we are at our clean out here. So that section there is our main blockage. And I believe that's right after our SDR transition. It's hard to see, or rather we can't really see anything. But whenever we were running water going outbound, it was a little more clear. And I believe that the SDR transition was at about 10 feet, and there was a little offset. Yeah, right there. And we're going to pull back and go inside. Inside had some rather prolific roots. And then we'll take a peek at the grease trap. Inbound. So, a whole bunch of roots there. Looks like it's kind of difficult to tell, but some misshapen pipe. Oh, roots. It was about 15 feet to the foundation. Cast iron starts, about 13, 14 feet, and almost immediately goes up. So, we're going to take a look at the clean out that they have to tie in the grease interceptor, which should be abandoned whenever the home's rebuilt or demolished. So this is the grease interceptor line. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see very much. We did run water, but it had a lot of debris in it. Pretty big offset where the clean out connects to the clay, so it's going to make cleaning the roots out of that section really difficult. And then we've got standing water and a whole bunch of roots. So I don't know how far the actual interceptor is, but this section looks pretty rough. We got some grease water on us. I don't know how far I'll be able to push. I'm probably about zero out our camera right there. 13 feet. Let's see. Well, my distance counter is not working. Well, yeah, we got grease on the line. Can't see anything now. We're pulling all the way back. So we'll call it, we're at the bottom of the sweep now. We're at -5, we were at 13, so 18 feet I was able to push. That should put us right as we're going back into the house. So maybe the interceptor has been abandoned and it's just a separate line. Not 100% sure about that. It's been Grayson with Garvin's. Thank you.